Hello everyone, my name is Bram Lagrou. I'm the founder and managing director of Lagrou Partners, and I'm now talking to you if you are in a business development role, because this is what you're after, isn't it? You want more dollars, you want to sell more, you want to take more commissions home, you want to do it faster so that you can obviously, again, be more productive, and at the same time you want to make sure there's more profit in your sales, there's more profit in your business development. This is what I want to show you. A couple of key success factors to be mindful of so that as you get better at all of those, and particularly the one critical factor that I will be talking to you about last. Stay tuned. Watch the entire video because this is for you. Here's the truth in life. In order to close, we need to first create buying desire. How can you somehow make people want something, or how can you bring them to buy your product or service if they first don't want it strongly enough, passionately enough? It's about really connecting on a deep emotional level with a client. We need to first achieve that point. It's about establishing the rapport. It's about connecting with them and showing them that the product or service that you're showing to them is relevant to them, beneficial, and that it's going to help them achieve something that they're looking to solve. They need to have a problem. They need to have a dream. Each one of those, and that product or service need to satisfy it. They first need to buy into the concept, the idea of either buying and acquiring that product or service or owning it. They first need to own it, emotionally speaking, mentally speaking, before they will be willing to give you the money, pay the check, and walk out with your product or service. So buy-in is the first thing we need to do. So let's have a look at what we need to do, because the money won't come automatically. This is the first thing that we need to seriously have in our radar as a guiding principle. How can we create buy-in? And here's what we need to do. There's a couple of steps to go through to create the buy-in or the purchasing decision. First things first, you as a trained professional, you need to be serious about what it is that you want to achieve. Who you're going to talk to, who are you going to put on your target list, who can you actually serve and add value to with your service. This is some preliminary work. Call it preparation. It is setting the stage. It is getting all the ingredients ready to start cooking. But you don't start cooking straight away, do you? You first need to think about what it is that you want, then go and buy all the groceries and ingredients and the herbs and whatever, then find a way to put it all together so that it will start producing a quality dish. The same thing with our sales results. First is strategic planning. Very important process to take some time on that. Only then you'll launch straight into action. You will start making your calls, you will start prospecting and start looking for ways to get past the gatekeepers, get in front of the right people and spend what I call belly-to-belly time, heart-to-heart, face-to-face, knee-to-knee. You need to spend time with good people, people that are in the market, that are looking for your product or service, people that can afford your product or service, and people that are looking for that product or service on the short term. Anything that doesn't qualify for those three things is already not really a prospect. So prospecting means spending time with the right people more often. Then it's about really being strong about the first impressions. Now, if you've already seen some of my other videos, I've really showed you these skills more in detail in one of my business development videos, number 2 actually, which talks about 8 key skills, but I'm really going to expand briefly on it. First impressions, you need to profile your target market, each of your target markets, because sometimes you will find that your target markets have a different profile. One of my programs is called Communication Mastery, and it teaches very advanced psychological tools to seriously profile your target market and then develop a system, an approach that will allow you to build more deep and meaningful relationships with those people, because you start talking and walking the way that they do. You will come across as somebody who talks their language. They will more easily feel that you are on the same page. They will experience you being one of them rather than a salesman, and so on and so on. So you need to really become serious about who it is that you're trying to do business with so that you can become the type of person that these people are looking to buy from. Next, qualifying. You just don't go into the sales meeting straight away. You don't just go in there and see what questions come off the top of your mind. You need to have the right amount of questions readily prepared for, rehearsed, so that the words come out naturally, but that they're very targeted and that they're starting really in a more general, casual way here, and that they are starting to filter everything through. Because what you're doing is you're putting people through a funnel. You're sifting through so that everything becomes really very accurate, precise, and that it helps you to come out with a straightforward problem that requires a straightforward solution that your product or service can provide. So prepare your questions well in advance, rehearse it, get really good at it, and again, make sure that those questions are pre-framed to unravel the very issues and pain points that your clients are challenged by and that they are looking to solve through your product or service. So that's the next one. Next, once you've done that, you need to come back with something that shows them that you got the right goods, you got the right stuff for them. So the presentation is then where you become really, where you pretty much are starting to close the sale already. You're starting to get people buying into it. Why? Because you are showing a targeted solution that is exactly what they're looking for, that is exactly matching to their pain points, that they seriously start to feel, wow, I want this. You need to create that buy-in experience throughout the process and especially in your presentation. Next, influencing is your ability to help to make a decision and move gradually one step closer to the decision. You need to make them feel comfortable in that process. A lot of people would have used the old school techniques, which were very fear and pressure related. They were at times manipulative. No more of that, guys and girls. It's time for something different. It's time for an ethical behavior, but a very powerful and effective one. It's time to get values again realigned with business. Would you agree? Would you like to be a source of inspiration, a source of positive power, and or a source that people want to keep coming back to, because not just does the product or service satisfy, but you, in terms of the way you go about winning the business and assisting them, adding value to them, that is already what they want? Of course it is. This is what you need to do. You need to become a powerful influencer, and so that is another key skill. Obviously, once people have all the reasons why not to buy from you or defer the decision, it's about, again, being comfortable enough within so that you can make people other people feel comfortable to make the decision as well and overcome those objections. So again, prepare for all the main questions and reasons and all the good excuses that people come up with, especially in your field, with regards to purchasing your product and service, so that you have a meaningful answer to them, that you are a very well-prepared individual to handle those, let's say, questions really well, so that as soon as they start hearing your answers to those questions, you need to see their excuses as a question. Once you say, this is what I can say to that, you need to really make sure that they feel comfortable about the process so that they are willing to buy the product or service right now. Last, it's not just about winning on the first work. Typically hunters, top performers, they love the kill, as we call it at times. It's important to win that business, but most importantly, it's important to keep working with the same clients over and over again and tap into their valuable networks as well. This is a valuable tool as well. So as we work on improving ourselves in each one of those 7 or whatever steps and processes that we need to master, obviously our sales results will improve. But here is the most important thing now. My background is in psychology. I was born in Belgium, raised as a psychologist, went on to become a sales rep and gradually became a sales manager with 38 teams deployed over 15 countries and doing $12.5 million in revenue annually. This is what I did before I started off my own business and decided that I wanted to be a contributing person in the field of business development and leadership development. And so here is now where you will start seeing my psychology, where it comes alive and is coming to rescue to you. One of the great reasons why business development professionals will be underperforming, which means they will not performing to their optimal potential, is because one major factor here. And that factor will obviously impact the buy-in experience here. It will impact and affect the quality and quantity of the work performed here, which is the skill side of things. And it will, because of all these here, logically speaking, it will affect the amount of money you take home because of the amount of sales you make. It will also impact the speed of making the sale and also the amount of profit that you will make per sale. So this one is an absolute key feature for you to be mindful of. It is what I call the way you think. The way you think, and let me just say it, write it out loud. The way you think is of tremendous importance. Let me show you an example. Whenever you are doing a follow-up call with a prospect that is in the market, but in some way is perhaps a bit dominant, is perhaps getting you a bit out of your comfort zone, you didn't really connect that well, and you are a bit stressed by giving that person a ring. You are actually expecting that that person will say no to you and pretty much disarming all the work, all the preliminary work that you've conducted. Pretty much saying that, you know what, all the hours you spend on it, it's going to be lost. If you start thinking that way, do you think that phone call, if ever you're going to make it, that phone call is going to be successful? Of course it won't. So it starts with the way you think. The way you think is of vital importance because you can get all the best training in the world to top up your skills. In the end, unless you think constructively, you won't even get to this work. You need to really invest positive energy, positive thoughts into your activities, into your skills in order to create optimal results. And so one of the key factors here, apart from the thinking, is that sometimes fear gets in the way. Fear. Let's just say that fear here gets in the way. Fear is the number one reason for underperformance. Fear of failure, fear of doing the wrong thing, fear of burning a bridge, fear of being rejected and said no to. Sorry, we went with somebody else, or sorry, we're not in the market right now. Sorry, we can't afford it now. We decided to actually cancel the project altogether. Fear of rejection or whatever it is a major reason why we actually don't do this properly. So what I'm really suggesting you here now is to make sure that you start monitoring so that your thoughts are in line with the result that you're trying to achieve. You need to be positive. You need to think about that you are capable of doing it, that you are also worth receiving. And this is where I'm now going a level deeper. The level of self-esteem. Unless you feel that you are worthy of receiving, unless you feel that you are good enough to work with these people, to win their business, obviously you're not going to go anywhere. So the way you think and the way you manage your emotions is of pivotal importance to the success of your business. So the way you manage emotions. Whenever you find yourself being negative, being too skeptical about the potential outcome of a sales meeting, of a call, of a presentation you're about to deliver, it's going to seriously undermine your effectiveness here. The client is going to pick up on it emotionally speaking, and if they feel the slightest doubt in your own mind, in your approach, top people that can write top checks won't buy from you. So my suggestion to you is get serious, not just about your skills and topping those up, doing seminars on them, reading the books, listening to the tapes, and so on. It's not just this. You need to be a serious addict and observer of your own thoughts and emotions. Because unless you feel positive enough, your business is not going to prosper. My name is Bram. It's been a pleasure of having you here today.